It's an earthquake. Earthquake. Quickly, quickly. On June 23rd, 2025, at around 6:48 p.m., a 4.3 magnitude earthquake struck Qingcheng District, Qingyuan City, Guangdong Province, located at 23.62 north latitude and 113.17 east longitude. The earthquake had a depth of approximately 10 kilometers, with its epicenter located in Qingyuan. While not considered a strong earthquake, its shallow depth and proximity to densely populated areas made it felt across the Pearl River Delta region. Areas including Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Foshan, Dongguan, Zhongshan, Zhuhai, and even Hong Kong and Macau experienced tremors. Video footage captured the moment of the earthquake, showing buildings and chandeliers shaking. People were seen fleeing their homes and shops in panic. Students at nearby schools evacuated to the large sports field for safety. Many residents were in the middle of meals when the earthquake occurred. In one household, a father quickly grabbed his child and took cover under the dining table. In the Xueyu Lanting neighborhood in Huadu District, several buildings appeared to have tilted after the quake. Residents evacuated to open spaces on the ground floor for safety.
Everyone is here. Look, all those buildings are slanted.
I was so scared, so scared. Just now we felt the tremor here, and it turned out to be an earthquake in Qingyuan. We could feel it right next door, very strongly. The whole building was shaking. At first I thought it was the elevator shaking down here, or maybe something crashed into the building. It was really terrifying. My legs were shaking. I quickly grabbed my phone and the most valuable things and ran downstairs. It was so scary. I had just come upstairs, and when I ran outside, it was so loud. Everyone was running out, completely freaked out. How did it suddenly shake like that? My hands are shaking. So many people have run out. Look over there. It's so scary. Luckily, we're on the first floor. Oh my god, everyone's running out. Look over there. In the epicenter of Qingyuan, roads have cracked and walls have shown signs of damage. Although the authorities quickly reported that there were no casualties, many residents have already developed psychological trauma from the event. Various videos related to the incident have spread widely on social media. Some show elevators shaking for 10 seconds, office ceilings swaying, and people reporting a sudden tingling sensation in their feet while trying to escape. Official experts have confirmed that recent earthquakes is a result of normal tectonic activity and have assured the public that there is no need for panic. However, their statement has not alleviated concerns among some citizens. In recent years, China has experienced a series of natural disasters, including typhoons, floods, and extreme heat. Earthquakes have now been added to the list, with various types of disasters occurring regularly. This has led to growing concerns among the public. Although the earthquake's intensity was not high, it has triggered concerns about the quality of urban construction. China has had numerous cases of poorly built infrastructure, and no one can confidently say whether there is an issue or not. The memory of past building collapses is still fresh, and even a few seconds of shaking now raises fears. Wow, there was an earthquake, and the kids all ran out. Oh my god, it just shook a few times, and look, my house is cracked. What should I do? Look, it's completely cracked. A social media user commented, location Qingyuan, Qingcheng District, there was a loud bang and then the house started shaking. I thought it was a gas explosion and immediately ran downstairs. I never expected it to be an earthquake. This was the first time in over 30 years I've experienced an earthquake. Oh my god, it felt like there was an earthquake here in Guangzhou just now. I'm not sure if it's just my imagination or if there really was that kind of shaking. I don't know if you guys felt it over there, but it was so scary. I don't even know if I should run or what to do now. I was scared to death. I just got home after my interview and realized there was an earthquake. I quickly ran as fast as I could, and ended up at this McDonald's. You know what? The shaking was so obvious, it was terrifying. A woman was having a meal at home when she suddenly felt a shake. She muttered to herself,
这怎么回事啊？
I don't know what happened just now, but there was a huge shake. It lasted about a second.
There's an earthquake in Huadu. Everyone's outdoors. No one dares to go back inside.
A resident of Qingyuan City, when interviewed, described feeling the entire ground shaking. The shaking lasted for several moments. At first, he thought he had lost his balance or was feeling dizzy, but later realized it was an earthquake. Another woman recalled being so frightened that her legs went numb. She even heard glass vibrating and making noises. She said that when she tried to escape, she couldn't stand up. By the time she regained her composure and was ready to act, the earthquake had already ended.
Just now, I was sitting on a wooden bench when suddenly there was a shake, and the whole building trembled. My entire room shook, and the chandelier above me was swaying. Oh my god, I was so scared that I jumped right off the bench, thinking it was a construction site downstairs doing some piling work. But then it turned out to be an earthquake. It really scared the hell out of me. Dude, how's it over there? I'm in Huadu Shiling, and I felt the tremor here. It lasted about 1 to 1.5 seconds. Oh my god, it really freaked me out.
广州的朋友圈是炸锅了，清远4.8级地震。
Everyone's circle of friends in Guangzhou is going crazy. Qingyuan had a 4.8 magnitude earthquake and the whole Pearl River Delta was shaking. A lot of people have already crawled under tables and then they're rushing down the stairs like crazy because earthquakes are really terrifying. As someone from Sichuan who experienced the 5.12 earthquake right at the epicenter, it's really scary. That feeling of the ground shaking, not being able to stand still, is absolutely terrifying. Because in Guangdong earthquakes are not that frequent, you could say it has strong resistance to typhoons. They come several times a year, but in Guangdong, people are especially afraid. Natural disasters are happening more and more. Not long ago, there was a flood in Huaiji, Guangdong, surpassing the 100-year flood warning level.
Oh, the ground is cracked from the tremor.
A Guangdong netizen remarked that the earthquake exposed poorly built infrastructure. In the dormitory of the North Campus of Guangdong University of Foreign Studies, the floor cracked directly after just a few seconds of aftershock. Is it cracked? Yeah, we're really living in a dangerous building now. Is it going to collapse with cracks like this? Let's check if the walls is cracked. Wow, it's so long. Netizens from various parts of Guangdong reported strong shaking, and users from Hong Kong and Macau also mentioned feelings of tremors. Felt the tremor in Hong Kong. Macau also experienced 2 shakes. The tremor in Guangzhou was very strong. I was shaking while sitting on a chair. The tremor in Huadu, Guangzhou was intense. The tremor in Baiyun, Guangzhou was very strong. In Shenzhen's Guangdong District, I was on the 5th floor of an office and felt shaking for 2 or 3 seconds. On the 3rd floor in Shenzhen, the windows were shaking. The tremor in Zhuhai was very strong. The tremor in Foshan was intense. I felt 2 shakes in Shenzhen. There was shaking in Jiamen. In Shenzhen, Guangdong, I felt the tremor and the windows in my house were rattling. In Huizhou, the tremor was very noticeable and it lasted for quite a while. The shaking in Dongguan was also strong. It was very intense and I could even hear loud sounds. Shenzhen had an earthquake. I live on the 46th floor and the shaking made me feel hopeless. Just now, oh my god, everyone ran out. A woman who experienced the 2008 Wenchuan earthquake shared her feelings.
清远居然都地震了，就在刚刚，我坐在店里面。
Wow, Qingyuan just had an earthquake. Just now, I was sitting in the store when I suddenly heard a boom. I thought something had exploded in the supermarket, so I quickly got up to check. When I stepped outside, that's when I heard it was an earthquake. Honestly, my heart still hasn't calmed down. It immediately took me back to 2008 Wenchuan earthquake. That year, I was studying in Leshan, Sichuan, but this earthquake felt completely different from the ones I experienced in Sichuan. This time, there was a distinct explosion sound. When I went outside just now, everyone thought something had exploded. But in the past earthquakes I've been through, I only heard a rumbling sound from the underground, kind of like a noise of a big truck passing by. I still remember very clearly that during those quakes, my friend and I held hands running from the dorm to the ground floor. The panic we felt back then, I can still feel it in my heart. After that, all the students and teachers stayed on the school field for 2 days and 2 nights. Honestly, I really hope there will be no more earthquakes in this world, that we can live in peace forever, and that everyone stays safe and sound. A vlogger expressed doubt about the official earthquake report from Qingyuan, Guangdong following the 4.3 magnitude earthquake. He cautioned against relying on earthquake warnings and advised people never to wait for confirmation of an earthquake, as many only started evacuating 10 minutes after the tremor, missing the best time to escape or take cover. The vlogger detailed his experience during the earthquake, pointing out that it actually has a precursor, which was not only consistent with the surveillance footage circulating online. He described the event as sudden, starting with a slight shake followed by a booming sound. The noise came from underground, making it difficult for him to determine the source, marking his first experience with such an event. His initial reaction was to assume it was an explosion caused by military research, thinking that a major incident had triggered the earthquake. The vlogger explained that in both his rural hometown and downtown Qingyuan, he occasionally hears distant booming sounds, similar to a truck tire burst. These sounds are brief but intense, but the source is far away, at least several kilometers. The vibrations in the air are noticeable, and windows feel the impact of the airflow, causing slight shaking. He could think of no other explanation of these sounds except for military-related activities. During the Qingyuan earthquake, the vlogger experienced a slight shake followed by a continuous strong, muffled booming sound. It then transformed into intense shaking without any tilting. He confirmed that it was indeed an earthquake. From the initial weak tremors to the end of the first intense shake, it lasted for 5 to 8 seconds. At the time, his mother was cooking noodles in the kitchen. He had just returned home and was talking to her. At the 4th second of the earthquake, he immediately realized it was an earthquake, as the shaking was strong enough to make him tremble. He quickly told his mother to turn off the stove and go downstairs. Thanks to his experience in Natural Disaster Simulation Center during his childhood, he quickly assessed the earthquake's magnitude to be around 4, with a slight overestimate of 5. He feared it could escalate and was preparing for further precautionary measures. However, his mother's first reaction was to resist, thinking it was due to nearby construction. He urged her to go downstairs, which delayed them by 10 seconds. Once downstairs, his mother stopped to ask the property staff what had happened, but he intervened, saying that the event had just occurred and no one knew the exact details. Later, a staff member learned about the earthquake warning through a work group. Property management personnel shared a photo of the warning in the community group. The vlogger mentioned that aside from the user platform sharing the warnings, the government website, earthquake networks, and weather forecast sections failed to provide timely notifications. This delay caused significant panic among the public in a short period. Ultimately, individuals were left to rely on their own judgment when danger struck. The earthquake occurred in Qingcheng District, Qingyuan City, Guangdong. Initially, the China Earthquake Network Center automatically recorded the earthquake as approximately magnitude 4.6. However, many local residents received a 4.8 magnitude earthquake warning on their phones. Later, an official assessment concluded the earthquake's magnitude was 4.3. The earthquake occurred just around dinner time, and many residents at home were startled by the sudden strong shaking. During this time, a humorous scene unfolded. At 18:48 on that day, a surveillance video showed a young boy eating dinner with his father and younger brother around the dining table when the earthquake struck. The father was the first to feel the tremor and immediately grabbed his younger son to quickly run outside, shouting, "It's an earthquake." The boy initially ran to the door with his father, shouting loudly to the aunt in the house, "Run! Run!" But then he suddenly remembered the food isn't finished, so he ran back to the table to continue eating. After his father repeatedly urged him to hurry, he spun around the table, picked up a plate of his favorite food and a bowl of rice, and ran towards the door. In the end, after his father persuaded him to put the food back on the table, before leaving, he grabbed a few more bites of food and then followed the adults outside. The boy's real reaction to the earthquake amused many netizens who joked in the comments, "You need to eat enough to have the strength to run." He even had time to spin the plate and pick his favorite food, not forgetting to grab a bowl of rice. Now we all know why some people are overweight. When it comes to life or food, they choose food over life. On June 24th, Mr. Lee, the father of the young boy, told Chinese media that during the earthquake, the boy's mother was away on a business trip and the woman in the video was the aunt who was cooking. He explained that she remained so calm She had never experienced an earthquake before and did not initially believe it was one. However, with earthquakes occurring more frequently, people may not remain as calm and may not find it amusing anymore. Recent earthquakes in China have been increasingly frequent. On March 29th, a 4.4 magnitude earthquake occurred in Zhi County, Yunnan Province. Experts said it was triggered by the 7.9 magnitude earthquake in Myanmar on March 28th. On April 28th, a 4.1 magnitude earthquake struck Qingcheng County, Guangzhou City, Sichuan Province with a depth of 14 kilometers. On the afternoon of April 29th, two earthquakes hit Rutog County in the Ali region of Tibet within 3 minutes, measuring 4.8 and 3.8 magnitudes respectively. On May 12, the 17th anniversary of the Wenchuan earthquake, a 5.5 magnitude earthquake occurred in Lazi County, Qingyuan City, Tibet. The tremors were strong, waking many residents from their sleep. On June 5th, a 5.0 magnitude earthquake struck Yuan County, Dali Prefecture, Yunnan Province. The tremors were strong, waking the residents in the middle of the night, calling it terrifying and frightening. On June 15th, a 4.8 magnitude earthquake struck Gong County, Yibin City, Sichuan Province, with noticeable tremors felt in Chongqing, Guangzhou, Yunnan, and other areas. Sichuan had experienced several earthquakes this year. On June 27th, a 4.5 magnitude earthquake occurred in Maqing County, Golog Prefecture, Zhuhai Province, with a depth of 22 kilometers. Earthquake disasters are currently a global topic of concern. Japanese manga artist Ryo Tatsuki, known for her accurate predictions in her work The Future I Saw, had previously forecast significant events such as Japan's 3.11 earthquake and the COVID-19 pandemic. She also predicted that a major earthquake would strike Japan on July 5th this year, triggering a massive tsunami. This prediction has sparked panic in various regions, leading to a significant decrease in the number of tourists traveling to Japan. In response to the prediction, Japan Meteorological Agency Director General Roichi Nomura publicly debunked the claim on June 13th. He stated that such predictions should be regarded as rumors and emphasized that there is no need to worry about such information. He further stressed that current technology cannot predict the exact date, time, location, or magnitude of an earthquake. On June 15th, Ryo Tatsuki, the author of the prediction, offered a new explanation in her recently published book Angel's Last Words. According to a report by Sankei Shimbun, Tatsuki explained that a specific disaster date of July 5th does not necessarily mean a significant event will occur on that day. She said the date in the dream does not equal the date something will happen, and added there may not be a major event that day. She also noted that the high level of attention her work received demonstrated that people's readiness in the face of disaster had improved. Although Tatsuki softened her stance on the prediction, she still urged the public to remain cautious about disaster's preparedness. She stated, "I hope the content of my work can play a small role when a disaster strikes, and I hope that the attention it has garnered will further translate into safety measures and disaster readiness. Personally, I believe we should be especially mindful when going out, and I will also try to stockpile some supplies just in case." As the date approaches on June 25th, Taiwanese astrologer Tang Qiyang posted on Facebook stating that the new moon occurring when the sun aligns with Jupiter intensifies the energy of Cancer. She noted that this could lead to feelings of melancholy and unease, with a sense of subtle anxiety about the future and the world experiencing disturbing events. She emphasized the need to learn how to transform emotions, adding, "The suffering bestowed upon us must have a reason, so let's make a wish for our hearts with this belief." Taiwanese folk culture researcher Lao De-yi told local media that this year's international situation is unstable, and certain regions may face natural and man-made disasters. He advised the public to engage in more good deeds to help mitigate these challenges.